experiencing God's love. And then creating all the thoughts of love for everyone. Love is a very, very positive energy. And when there is love, there are good feelings and good wishes. And this way we can spread the vibrations, create the atmosphere of being loveful. When there is love, there's also feelings of cooperation. And with cooperation, the task becomes easy. Even sometimes there is some battling with Maya or sanskars, but keep reminding yourself that I am Baba's child, I am loveful. Baba loves each one of us. So I am also loveful. In love, there is also a lot of peace. When there is peace, one feels very safe. So take drishti from Baba. Keep experiencing Baba's love.
Om Shanti, welcome to Avyakti Parivar. Today, January 12, Raazyukt, Renunciation. Now we'll be listening from Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. We're going very fast, right? In month of January. We're going fast because whatever percentage we need to be complete, we are paying attention to them. Nothing is new for us. For so many years on this spiritual journey, we had been making a lot of efforts. I think it's very beautiful that how when we are loveleen, karmatit, yes, we become world server. It's not question of I have this desire to be world server, but deeply within, whatever I have, whether it is in a physical way or internal spiritual way, I think it belongs to God. It has come to me from God as a gift. So if that thought is there, then there is humility. There's not even little bit of ego. Oh, I'm so good in doing this. I'm so good in this, right? And not only that, but further, there is no desire. So in our nature, when there is humility, and it's very deeply then connected with that I receive from God, this belongs to God. So we're giving actually the right to God to use it. And of course, Baba knows that, yes, this quality or speciality is a good example and can be used for world service. I remember when many of us, as young Brahmins, Baba used to say, if you are a good example or a good sample, so when I travel, I can take you. And I remember feeling so intoxicated. Then Baba gives example like a businessman. In his briefcase carries the samples, best samples, and he travel with that. And to do business, he will show that sample. So Baba used to inspire us, become such an example sample that I can show to the world that this is what you can become. And I still have such a life feeling that that's what I want, I am sure, or each one of us. And that is where very, very deep Baba is world server, and I could accompany him. So he takes me on world tour, he takes me on world service. So first is this whole like complete humility. And second is everything belongs to Baba. It's not something like we say, okay, physically. But even someone says, you have something, oh, you have so much love or you have so much tolerance. I look above and say, it's not me, it's Baba. Since I belong to Baba, I have tolerance. It's a gift from Baba. And it's not I'm verbally saying, but from my heart, I feel. I can definitely say that I didn't know anything, whatever basic education or what we learn in family values but A to Z, what I learned is really from Baba. Even there was education, but not the way how to take care of yagya, unlimited family, communication, caring, all that I learned is when I came to Baba. So really, I never gave any credit to myself. Oh, you did very well. I immediately thank Baba and say, Baba, you used me as instrument and it seems it went well. So each one of us have this thought and it's a pure thought. Why not? That yes, I want to be world server with Baba, not on my own world server with Baba. I will, like Dadi Janki used to say, I carry Baba with me. And then sometimes she will say, he also carries me with him. So this will feel very, very nice internally. And one important thing for one server is to have a good nature. Because adjustable, flexible, loving, because I know that even in a physical way, I remember going from one place to other, one home to other for service. He did a lot of adjustment. But wherever I stayed or whenever any one of us go and stay, we leave such beautiful memories in their hearts. They see us how we use everything in a with dignity but economically, how clean we are, how much discipline there is. So we adjusted, but also becomes a good example where they keep remembering when sisters were here, they were like this, they did like this. A lot of learning and sharing happens. So when we have good nature, but we can't adjust, we're not happy, our moods keep fluctuating, our face is not always smiling as it should be. So if you have to be anywhere in the world, if you are happy or you could adjust and you just make everyone feel belong to God, love. Some of these basic qualifications are very important. Dadi Janki says, I never went to school. And time came when she got the title of wisdom keeper. From where her wisdom came, she never said it's from my studies or my bhakti or she used to joke with us, oh Dadi Prakash Mani has such grand personality, look at me. But how Baba used her and she became world server. That's like total internally, totally belonging to God. And then allowing Him to use. So we are talking about now renunciation. Brahma Baba's, I think that many, but one of the most important renunciation was his own freedom. Each one of us, we follow dictates of mind called manmat. Oh, I feel like this, I think like this. So it's very difficult. Uh, for me, I always look at if that person would accept, will do, if not. But Brahma Baba didn't have that choice. Baba wanted him to think what Baba wants. Shiv Baba wants Brahma Baba. Think like this. Even he was dictating, giving direction about thoughts, about intellect. Mam ekam sharanam. Your intellect should be connected with me. So it's like personal freedom, very personal, isn't it? Some could say, even I'm not allowed to think the way I want. No, you can't. This is what Baba says. You have to think what I think based on the teachings and knowledge and remembrance, because that's how you will become not only instrument but also free from the bondage of past karmas because it's past actions, and then from their sanskars and thoughts emerges from there. He was giving a true independence. In true independence, you're not conditioned, and it's the sanskars which make you think. Circumstances make you think. Through sense organs, what we see, we think. But he said, no, you have to think about your eternal form, your original form, your deity form. So renunciation, that I feel it's a big renunciation. Of course, generally when we talk of renunciation, we say of five vices, right? But in what form those five vices have taken over our life is our mind and intellect. And then all of us have a social identity, which is personal but also social. And that to surrender that identity is a big renunciation. There are a lot of stories about Brahma Baba. When he changed, then he changed his dress, and then he was very simple. But I remember that when I came to Baba after a few years, when I had to be on service or still in university. So those days our saris were of cotton. 6 yards of cotton sari was a big deal, right? So I had to wear when I'm giving talk or class or. But I know once or twice some of my friends appeared. Oh, what is this now? What happening? So a lot of changes which we make socially, you are always like uh, one. They want you to know. They all wanted to know what's going on, right? I remember one of my professor used to say, "Can I talk to you?" I said, "Sure." And she was political science professor, was a Persian woman. "What's going on in your life?" I said, "I am fine. But every day you look different." Because of course you start wearing light colors and less hairstyle and no makeup, all that. So I didn't say much. I said it's my mission. So I was in Kashmir one time. We were arranging exhibition, and I was explaining exhibition, and she appeared there. A lot of tourists go, and she said, "What is this?" I said, "Well, that's my life." So she thought there is some cause or some sorrow. There must be something. I said, "No, that this is the calling in my life to serve." And I got the right message, and I like the lifestyle. So that's why you see me like this. She was touched, but then also surprised. But in the beginning, family, relatives, they really look at you, is something wrong? What is going on? I said, this you get with fortune, not because of sorrow. It takes time. Most of the people think you turn to God when you are sad or you have worries. Very few realize that it's the fortune, it's the right time when you get this message. So, this social identity and internal, personally, total surrender to Baba. I don't use word surrender much, but it's more like belonging to Baba. I offer to Baba. So, renunciation of this ego or whatever, awareness of one's physical personality is a big renunciation because you are growing now with a new spiritual personality. And I like it one time when I was asked, was August 15th, and so my instrument asked me if I can give talk on true independence. They were expecting 500-600 people and said, you speak in English? I said, okay. So the way she explained one of the instrument, you go, you stand there, you look at all of them as souls. So then they won't look at you, who you are physically and all that. They will look at you and they also will feel light. And secondly, she said, even they look at you in body consciousness and you look at them as souls, lot of karmic account will be settled because after this they will always look at you with a different vision of being a spiritual person. And I like that concept. I said, okay. That means your physical personality, you have, each one of us, we have. But looking at others in soul consciousness will change their vision. And next time they will see you in that spiritual, like a spiritual person. So these are very subtle things. So each one of us might feel, for some things they renounce very easily, and some they think, oh, that will be hard to renounce. I remember that even food of one's own taste. Hmm, you want to eat the food of your taste, right? Every country has their own color of chili and taste of chili. We have souls here from all different countries. So one day chili of Guyana, one day chili of grain, India, one day of other country. But when you are in Yagya, you eat because it's Brahma Bhojan. We all eat. So for some, that could be renunciation. So each one of us internally, what are the obstacles in the sense of renunciation? Or those obstacles is where I need more renunciation. And sometimes it could be physical. So each one of us, I think, had our own list of renunciation until now, maybe some things. So this way, renunciation now is basically of ego. Any kind of ego is not good. Any, in a subtle way or even a physical way. I am very good in this, right? I explain very good. For me, I feel whenever I find everyone is happy, when I talk, I am happy, I immediately say, thank you, Baba. You made me instrument that I can understand the needs of Baba's children. And you make me then speak what they need. I never feel, oh, I am the one who really, how will I know? So each one of us can really look at what are the things I need to renounce because they are obstacles, subtle obstacles in our becoming world server or for Baba to use me. Otherwise, of course, at this time, we, each one of us, we are example in our own way, everyone. And Baba can use us as world server. there is still a lot of service, unlimited service has to happen. So have determination, and of course we look at Brahma Baba's root sanskar, but also we want to follow Brahma Baba, not copy him, but follow him. So I have to understand that the quality of renunciation he had. If you look, listen to his life story, you will really could underline what was his renunciation like. So is with each one of us. And as much you have renunciation, or in other words, I say, Baba, it's your gift you gave me. So your heart is full of gratitude, you are humble, and you see wonders of Baba. All the time you say, Wow, Baba. Thanks, Baba. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Mohini Didi, and greetings everyone. Good evening.
Om Shanti.
When you present renunciation coming from this stage of being love lean, world, server, being karmatit, renunciation seems no big deal afterwards. But I'm glad that you also recognize that some types of renunciations are a little bit bigger. And if we think renunciation versus attainment, renunciation, what do I prefer, renunciation or attainment? I think I would prefer attainment. Do you have any suggestions or inspirations how to make this word renunciation appealing, sweet, nice, inspiring? Any way you can experience renunciation that will make us feel like, yes, I want to renunciate?
Yeah, freedom from bondage, because anything you are attached or have desire is a big bondage, right? So if I want to create fortune, and also this whole thought of that, if I want Baba to make me instrument, make me nimit for world service. So when I think of that fortune, like Brahma Baba, when he saw what he will become, what he will get, it's attainment, it's fortune. So it was like for him, he said he's using the word donkey ship, that what I am doing as a business, which was a very high respectable business as a diamond merchant. And he starts seeing those diamonds, just ordinary stones. No? So this vision of what I am going to become, what fortune God is giving me, royalty of that life when you think of. So then ordinary things, renunciation, definitely. I think it happens naturally. It's not you say, oh, I have to throw out something, or, it's very naturally, internally, it start happening in all of us, I think. It's not, yes, it could be suddenly, suddenly in the sense of immediately I renounce everything. But that could be, Brahma Baba's renunciation was very high quality. But generally people see renunciation as giving up certain things. But Baba's renunciation was more adopting to divine, adopting to purity. So more adopting in life.
Do you have more examples of practically what you witness in his style of renunciation? Do you remember situations where you felt, wow, this is a royal way of renouncing?
See, when Baba was once in Delhi, he used to come very often, and so there was a woman in the gathering. She got up and she starts saying all kinds of things to Baba. So Baba was smiling, and then when she finished talking, Baba said, "Come, come, child, come." So she was wondering, wow, I said so many, bad things about this person. Baba, sit next to me, so she melted completely. And then, so I was watching and I said, he didn't felt insulted or humiliated or even 1 second that how can this woman do this to me. So somewhere deeply that renunciation of personality or, I don't know what words to say it, but there were many situations like this where I used to really get amazed. So I call that also as a renunciation, which is very deep renunciation, where you don't even feel humiliated. You
Hearing
know,
this, we can
mm,
only feel we
mm,
want to become like this. We want to be like this, like Brahma Baba.
mm. Yeah.
When we hear you sharing this, but did you feel sometimes that by watching Brahma Baba's style of renunciation, I would say, did you ever feel, oh, that was inspiring you
Oh,
to
yeah.
change certain things in yourself or change the way you look at things, so that became also an easy renunciation for you?
Yeah, definitely it helps a lot to see how Baba was able to, whether it is facing situations or passing through obstacles. And, he stayed very, very royal, stable, victorious, and used a lot of power of silence. So definitely, see, renunciation always is seen as giving up, certain things. But here, renunciation is big transformation within. And that transformation, I thought, was, this whole thing of I have to follow Shiv Baba. He wanted to follow Shiv Baba, right? He wanted to become like Shiv Baba. So looking at God's qualities and well, those should be my qualities. So then other qualities get renounced, no, in a very natural way. We were explained very little things like, oh, if you are holding something in hand and you are given something better, automatically your hand will open and you will uh, leave what you had in hand and get something better. So it's like life start getting such beautiful experiences that you let go of so many things. You don't even feel it's renunciation, but it's only after you said, oh, I don't have this desire now. I don't have this habit now. That's what I used to realize, that it's not something forceful, or I don't know if it was even determination, but it was happening in a natural way, step by step, which must be experience of all of you too, no?
Baba, of course, they give us a full 7 days course on renunciation,
Mhm.
and we all revise it from time to time, and it's a big course, but he mentioned sometimes that we're a little bit like sannyasis who renounce everything except their stick, and it's like they transfer their renunciation or they transfer their attachment to the stick, and they are attached to the stick. I've seen myself as young Brahmin renouncing so many things, but being so attached to the type of shawl that I will get. And if I saw a nicer shawl on a brother next to me, I would try to get a nicer shawl. And if they have nicer comb in their hair or nicer glue in their hair, whatever. And so we were like those sannyasis transferring certain things, or the toli, or attention from the daddies. So we had a new set of desires, and Baba referred to them as those golden chains, those little royal desires, but they're still to be renounced also at some point. And I agree with you, with time, we get tired of chasing after tolis anyway, so we decide to chase after Murleys. But yes, renunciation it's such a big confrontation. My curiosity is about Brahma Baba was looking at Shiv Baba, And there are certain roots and scars that we're looking at the moment, which are very specific to Brahma Baba, but not really to Shiv Baba, like renunciation. I don't think that Shiv Baba renounces anything. Humility is not a roots and scar. So what is the roots and scar of renunciation?
See, Brahma Baba, when Shiv Baba enters in him, what he accepts, he doesn't accept, and how detached he is, how he's serving, everything he could experience, no? When Shiv Baba is using body of Brahma and said, no, I cannot accept garland, or when at train station, I don't want, Brahma Baba will say, but humility, no, it was because Shiv Baba could have said, oh, I want to be known, no, or I want to, never, So I think it's deeply within Shiv Baba's qualities, he was adopting those qualities, no? So
And it
I
became
see that,
renunciation.
no, so renunciation also, that he didn't wanted a big throne. No, it's very simple question. Even you see in history, all that's where Baba Mama used to sit, no backrest, no arms. These days we need proper sofa to sit, but Baba used to sit there. And I think that he, Shiv Baba was comfortable or was inspiring him to do the way he was doing it, in which we see humility, right? So Shiv Baba's or Brahma Baba, but it is from Shiv Baba that he didn't expect anything from anyone. So that's why we say no, Baba didn't have any desire. So Brahma Baba didn't have desire because he was from God. He was saying that God doesn't have desires. Why should I have desire? So somewhere you have to see that each root sanskar we are talking about was taken from Shiv Baba. I don't know whatever words we can use that he didn't need to renounce, but coming in the world where, all these gurus and thrones and, name and fame, but Shiv Baba didn't want it all that. So Brahma Baba didn't want it. So he followed, no, in a way. That's what I could think of. So
Was there
somewhere
any?
he was matching his personality, with Shiv Baba.
I like it when you take us to Shiv Baba, and I think we're still how to call it, discovering the subtleties of Shiv Baba's personality through Brahma Baba. And so the more you tell us about Brahma Baba doing his work in connection with Shiv Baba, the more we can also relate to Shiv Baba, which I think is, for me, it's very stimulating. So
I always think, I think I have to be like the God is, not in the sense of highest on high and all that, but, Brahma Baba life is what Shiv Baba is, right? And then even the yajna which is created, system within yajna of hospitality, of love, of care, all that is from Shiv Baba through Brahma Baba. And then Dadis and we all are following it. And I feel somebody said, what is God personality? I said, yajna is God's personality. That means all the qualities you see. Yes, some individuals might have certain sanskars or way, but original principles which are adopted in yajna came from Shiv Baba, no? Shiv Baba's qualities. So when people go there, oh, it's like paradise here, it's like heaven here. Look at them, they have everything. And then, of course, Baba says, you are holiest on holy, highest on high. So those qualities are expressed, properly by yajna. I'm not saying individual or Dadi Prakash Mani maintain all that.
was there, I know I like to sometimes ask you your personal journey, but was there anything that you remember that was a little bit more difficult for you to renounce, and that you were aware that, oh, I have to renounce something? And did you find any yuktis, or what was helping you to renounce something?
Yeah, I think all of us, for me, one of the biggest renunciation was coming out of my Lokik home, Lokik family, because I really love to be in home with family. And but what one day, I just thought this whole word of unlimited, and I said, oh, if I serve unlimited, then I'm serving limited. But if I stay limited, then I can never serve unlimited. Plus, I think this whole thing of calling inside, you know, Baba will give lot of, Brahma Baba gave me so many plans. Travel here, you have to do this. And I really will internally say, not me. I don't think I can do. And, but now I can say everything is said, I have done. I still now look for, is there anything more? And then I look at what Dari Janki used to tell me, have I completed all that or not? So I think that all of us, I can't remember anything more difficult, but that was a big choice I had to make. And for change of places, adjustment, be with different people, I just love everyone some or other. So I have good time wherever I am. Okay, let me think. If I remember tomorrow, I will tell.
I know I always like to see how we discuss a little bit, and next day also there are more experiences, because of course we will have this stage of renunciation tomorrow to reflect on.
Yes.
And it's such a nicer feeling for me to go into attainment, because when I was hearing one day someone explaining to someone saying, so what do you do in this study? Oh, they say it's very easy. In the beginning, you forget everything you learned. Then you have to become very detached from everything, everybody. Then you have to surrender everything. You have to give up everything. Then you have to die alive and learn to be like a corpse. And then you sacrifice yourself, and then you give your bones to service. It's very easy. It's called Raja Yoga. There must be a different version to explain what we do. I'm joking a little bit, but all this is part of the journey. And if we don't see the other side, it could look like a very difficult journey. And
I don't remember difficulties in my life. I don't know how, but I remember more, as you said, what we achieve and happiness, joy. So this is exciting.
I would renounce remembering any difficulties in my life. I think that's the best renunciation for me.
Yeah, I don't remember much.
You are very fortunate, and we're taking inspiration from that easy life to make our life easy. So I know Sister Gayatri will bring us a new way to look at our conversation with ourselves. So thank you again, Mohini Didi. I really feel fortunate to be able to expose some of my thoughts in front of you. I feel you are upgrading my thinking all the time. So thank you for inspiring me. Gayatri Ben, welcome. Thank you, Mohini Didi. Good night.
Thank you, Eric. And it is a very interesting subject of renunciation. And if I were to give you a half full glass, will you see it as half full, or will you see it as half empty? And I think renunciation is a little bit like that. When you were saying to Sister Mohini, we have to die alive, then we have to crush our bones, and then we have to do that. Are you looking at the half full or the half empty glass? Because half of it is renunciation, the other half is fortune. So sometimes if you're looking at the renunciation, you just may miss the fortune, and the fortune is in the space, the empty space in the glass.
But I like somebody who one day said, if you have a half empty and half full, the reality is to see half empty and half full.
Yeah, but what are you looking at, the half empty or the half full?
both.
Are you
at the
looking
same
at the renunciation, or you can't look at both at the same time? Sorry. You have to be looking at one, and then the other.
If
You
I
may
see
be aware that it is half empty and half full, but you have to be looking at one part of it.
But
So
if I
maybe
see my
that's something
ego,
for
I
you all
say,
to churn on today as we're
Yeah.
journaling. Yeah, sorry, what
Okay.
were you saying?
No, but if I see my ego, I say, you have to go. So
Well,
it has to
ego
go back
is
out.
the part about that. I suppose it's the last that will go. So
Oh,
don't
good.
fight with it. Make it your friend and
Mhm.
take it along with you. I just want to read a little bit of how Baba talked about himself, talked to himself about this subject of renunciation. And we all think that it was very easy for him, but I think he had to talk himself into understanding renunciation at many different levels. And so the roots and skara of renunciation, Eric asked the question to Sister Mohini, what would be the roots and skara to renunciation? And I think that Baba saw it as truth. He saw something that if he renounced in that process of renunciation, it would connect him to the truth. And I'll just read a couple of lines. And he referred to all these things as things that cause worries for him: body, relations, possessions, business, social norms. And he says he was talking about his guru, and he said, see how Guru Dev is sitting aside in peace. You tell me, has he got any worries? What has he except bliss? You must, he's telling himself now, you must also pass your life in bliss. What is the necessity of your being involved in business? And that business you keep lamenting about and making your face like a weeping face. Why don't you throw it away? Oh, brother, you can't rely on even your own body. It may be spoiled anytime, and then you will have anxieties. If it becomes weak, you will have attachment. These thieves, he says, will create problems for you. Your long standing attachment in wealth and family will provoke you. And seeing you weak, they will attack you. So from now on, try to go into solitude and attain truth. So I think that Baba was, even though the glass was half empty and he knew that, he was looking at what he can get out of these things, but he was understanding what they were doing to him and how they were creating all these issues for him. And if the guru that he had before Gyan could do it, then of course it's possible for him to do. So I just think renunciation for Baba was linked to truth and linked to where he wanted to go in life. And so could we have the daily quote, please? And so the quotation is, if you really renounce everything, you will also be respected. Don't become weak. Don't lose faith. And so tomorrow, when we are churning on this quote of renunciation as something that we will respect ourselves first and foremost for, because eventually we have to leave everything. What we have to do is don't lose our faith, because that's the most important thing as well, another root sanskara for renunciation. And so I like the question that Eric asked Sister Mohini. And maybe when we're journaling as part of the process, it's perhaps one of the things we should ask ourselves. Is there anything in my life that I have difficulty with when it comes to renouncing? And maybe that is something that you could see. And also, if you do find something that you have difficulty in renouncing, then maybe you will look at what roots and skara am I not connecting to? Am I not connecting to the roots and skara of faith? Or am I not connecting to the root samskara of truth? And you may have others as well that would come up. So, yeah, tomorrow is our day to look at this beautiful word, renunciation. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, welcome to a Vikti journey. Today is day 2, Adi Dev, remarkable stories about a remarkable soul.
तेरी नजरे इनायत है, तेरी नजरे इनायत है, किसी से नजर मिलाना क्या, तेरी नजरे इनायत है. Shiv Baba entered Dada's body. With this incarnation, Shiv Baba renamed Dada with Prajapata Brahma, the father of people. Out of this love of souls for the God, an institution of purification, a sacrificial fire called a yajna was created, where Shiv Baba would descend into the corporeal body of Brahma every day to give knowledge to his sweet children. In this yajna, Shiv Baba had given special attention to women. Many women who listened to Baba's liberating messages started to gain courage to reform the customs. Both men and women who came to the yajna received visions, sometimes of Krishna, sometimes of the Golden Age, and sometimes of the destruction of the Iron Age. The people of Sindh were amazed to hear this, and the respect for Om Mandali started to grow in the community. Many families started to send their daughters for the satsang, the spiritual gathering. One girl out of all those daughters stood out the most. She took the message completely to her heart. Her name was Radha, and she was called by the name Om Radhe. She was discreet, compassionate, and virtuous, and her intellect was very powerful. She was able to digest and churn the knowledge that no one else could. Few days before Om Radhe came to the satsang, Dada's wife, Jashodaji, had received a vision where Om Radhe had become Lakshmi, the empress of the world, and Jashodaji was giving her the kingdom. Jashodaji was very happy to see this vision become practical when she experienced the divine presence of Om Radhe when she came to the satsang. When Om Radhe met Baba for the very first time, she wrote a beautiful poem describing her experience. "Oh friends, what shall I show you? And how can I show you what I saw? What I saw in Om Mandali. Oh friends, how can I describe such a joy? The voice of Om, like an arrow, pierced my mind, and calm and quiet I became. All my troubles, all my stories, all my sorrows died away." And later, Om Radhe was named Jagdamba Saraswati, the World Mother. After after serving to bring transformation to so many people in such a short time, Brahma Baba took the family to Kashmir. Meanwhile, those who had been coming to the satsang regularly continued to meet every day to meditate and discuss the points of knowledge on their own. Baba would send them a letter regularly from Kashmir. These letters were read aloud by the senior sisters at the satsang. The purpose of Baba's visit to Kashmir was to visit a very popular place of pilgrimage, Amarnath. While Baba was on the road, a storm came. Many people started to turn around and go back, but Baba did not. He was determined to give knowledge to the devotees of Shiva and also know the truth behind the creation of the famous Shivlingam. Once Baba reached to the temple, Baba asked the guards the secret behind the ice Shivlingam. Many guards were hesitant at first, but just experiencing the royal and divine presence of Baba, they all considered him to be higher than a king and decided to share all the secrets with him. They finally told him that the freezing water dripped from a hole in the ceiling of the cave and drop by drop built up the ice into a large rock. This was the secret behind the miraculous appearance of Shivlingam in Amarnath that Baba himself went to discover. Baba spent most of his time in solitude and thinking deeply about each word spoken by God. Baba used to think deeply on the point of how could one cut through all the layers of karmic accounts and experience the fullness of knowledge.
तेरी दृष्टि के दर्पण में पाया ज्ञान न्यारा सा देखा साकार झरोकों से निराकार वो प्यारा सा पाया पल भर में जो हमने पाया पल भर में जो हमने किसी से और पाना क्या तेरा मिलना हुआ बाबा किसी से मिलन मनाना क्या तेरी नजरे इनायत है तेरी नजरे इनायत है.
Om Shanti. This was the part of the story of our beloved Brahma Baba. So this is the chapters from Adidev book.
Om Shanti. Yes, we all are on journey, and every day there is more and more fortune finding the truth, and renunciation is happening also. So good night and thank you. Om Shanti.